Today we are on beautiful Kentucky Lake. This is one of the most heavy hit spots on the lake as far as anglers go. There are a ton of there's a ton of fishing pressure here. I mean a ton of it. And there's actually a music festival going on, if you saw on the way in, just on the other side of where I'm at. So this is going to be interesting. However, there's no anglers out here right now. It's just me, a few boats, and from the looks of things, some fish. There's some fish busting in the back of this creek. So we're going to see what we can make happen here and get it going. With all the fishing pressure that is on this section of the lake, I figure we're going to start out with something subtle, like this little Ned rig right here. Usually, you know, I'll start out with something a little fast, like a crankbait, get a reaction bite. But I already know that there's fish in this section. I just don't know if they'll eat. A few videos ago, I said something about fall being here, and it was nice and cool. Completely changed. It is 90 degrees out here, and it is hot. This little creek on Kentucky Lake actually has a lot of value to me. I haven't caught a ton of fish here in recent years, but this is where a lot of my fishing know-how was created. This is where I cut my teeth, bass fishing, bluegill fishing, everything. I spent the majority of 2012 through 2014 standing right here. So I figured this is a good place to go on a nice Saturday afternoon. I expected there to be a lot more people, but I'm fine with there being none too. Let's strap on the GoPro and see if we can make something happen, but I can't guarantee anything here. I think a Ned rig is a really good lure to use in situations like this. Heavily pressured lakes and, you know, just places where people fish all the time, because the fish don't see this. This isn't something they see every day. So that's what I'm doing right now, but other than there being a ton of bait in here, I'm not seeing any fish, any, you know, game fish, any bass, any anything. So we might make a switch here in just a few minutes. I'm not really sure, you know, what we're going to do next, but there's a lot of water to cover and we've got some time to cover it. That wasn't really surprising. Didn't get a bite here. So let's move to the dock area and see what we can make happen. So we actually ended up getting a few bites on that drop shot I showed you. It's got a trapper tackle it's got a trapper tackle drop shot hook on there with a little drop shot weight, and lure I got from Catchco Mystery Tackle Box. I'll try to take a picture of that and include it in this video. But for now, let's go right back there and do some cranking, because I've actually done really well with that over the past, you know, few years. So let's see what happens. Alright, so here's what you missed over the last 40 minutes or so. I switched up to that crankbait, micro crankbait, and started cranking this little dock. There's almost always fish under it, so I figured that'd be a good place to go. As you know, I didn't get any of it on camera, but drop shot straight down, kind of jigging it, and I had 2 bites in a row and then nothing. So I figured that these fish are kind of active. The way that the first bite was, the fish was moving pretty quick. So I went and got the crankbait, and as I was kind of paralleling the way that this dock is made, I hooked into one, and that one started fighting over my crankbait with another one. Now, it wasn't a giant by any means, but it was still a fish, and that's kind of what we're out to do. I want to see if I can't hook up with another one. I might switch up cranks because all I have is that ugly chartreuse yellow one, but we'll see if we can figure something out here. I think that there might not be any giants here, but there's some fish here. So this dock extends quite a bit. There's a long walkway, and we come out and we're about 6-7 feet of water on those first 2 little things you can stand on and load from your boat. Now, as you go out farther, it gets a little bit deeper. I think over here it's like 9 to 10 foot. And I'm trying to figure out if they're in deeper water This would be the deepest water I can really reach, and then out back to my left. And then the shallow water is what I've gotten all my bites on. I figured, you know, it would be the other way around, like they'd be out deep because it's hot, it's summertime. But that's not the case, which is really weird. First thing that I'm noting is this is a floating dock. Not the most ideal dock to be fishing. Other than those little things right there holding the dock in place, there's not a whole lot for these fish to rely on. The only reason I think this is a good spot right now is because of all the shade that this rather large dock offers. And it seems like there's more fish up in the shallows, so I'm going to switch between the crankbait and the drop shot and see what we can make happen. There's one. Haha. Got him. First fish of the day comes off the drop shot, and it is a little fat dude. Look how fat this fish is for his size. I caught him on this little Trapper Tackle drop shot hook, which is a very awesome little hook, might I add. We'll get another look at that later on. You can't really see it that well. And then this is just a simple bait from Catchco, Mystery Tackle Box's brand. Came in the Mystery Tackle Box like in August or something like that. It wasn't, you know, I didn't think I'd ever get any use out of it. It's a pretty cool bait though. Look how chunky this fish is though. He's just a little fatty. Catching that fish really made me happy. It was such a beautiful little dude. Alright guys, I hope you learned something about fishing pressured areas like this one. I gave you my tips the way I would do it. Start off with something slow like a Ned rig and work your way faster to something like a crankbait. In this case I found my middle ground, which was a drop shot, and I took the one bite that I got off the crankbait and adapted with the drop shot and caught a fish on it, and I had a couple bites on it. It wasn't great. It wasn't the greatest day of fishing. In fact, you would think Andrew Flair is here because I caught nothing but one flare fish. But that's the basic way I would break down a pressured area such as this boat ramp, because it gets so much pressure, it's insane. But I hope you take away something from the way that I did this. It's really helpful for me. It's helped out a lot of guys, and I know a lot of other pro anglers use this in tournaments and such to catch bass on heavy pressured lakes, like some up in Illinois and stuff like that. So maybe you can take this, learn how to adapt, and be a better fisherman. I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Ken Arnold Fishing, and I'll see you right here, hopefully on beautiful Kentucky Lake, next time.